All right, guys, I am going to talk about something very important to me. It's called compound, all right? It's when you take one thing, compound it on another, and it keeps getting more and more and more and bigger and amazing. Now, a lot of you probably already know about compound. It's been around a while. Heck, it was what started off DeFi summer just about back in the 2001 time period, all right? It's a really cool protocol, and most people have totally forgotten about it. And I'm going to shine a spotlight back on it because it deserves a nice little shine, okay? See, compound is a place where you can take your assets, deposit them, and earn interest. And you can actually borrow stuff and get paid to borrow. Now, I'm sure some of you guys just said, whoa, paid to borrow, hang on, this too good to be true, I'm out, bye. No, hang on, give me a second, I can explain. You're still going to be paying them on net. But compound was one of the originators of an interesting little idea. It's something a lot of people have used over time, but most of them cut it off after a very short period of time. But compound is still going strong with it, and it's actually been working pretty well for them. So here's what their little interesting idea was. If you're depositing, why don't we pay you in our governance token and some of the interest that's generated off people borrowing your asset? So say you borrow say you have a stable coin, you got some USDC or some DMUSD or some DAI, whatever it is. You bring it to compound, you deposit it. Someone else will come along and they'll borrow that. They'll pay interest on it. So you're going to get a chunk of that interest, and they're going to spice it up with some of their governance tokens. So say you're getting, 5% interest from them. Okay, 5%'s okay. It's slightly better than the treasury yield right now, but we're looking for a little bit better. So you add another 3% from compound's governance token being given to you. Well, now you're looking at 8%. And 8%'s pretty good. 8% may not be crazy, but for a really safe passive savings, 8%'s pretty good. All right? Your banks are giving you maybe 2 or 3%. So 8%'s really good. And you don't even have to lock it up long term to get this either. You're getting it every single block, baby. Now, I mentioned earlier, people are borrowing, all right? And they're getting paid to borrow. How this works is when people come in, let's say they're charging 8% interest rate to borrow. Okay. Well, they're going to pay their 8% in whatever they borrowed it. So, let's stable coin. But compound's only going to pass 5% of that on to the people. The other 3% they're going to keep for themselves. All right? Now, yes, they give them governance tokens, but this helps them add liquidity to themselves because they can take those stable coins and they can pair it with their compound token, add liquidity to a liquidity pool somewhere, make a little money off that. It's a good virtuous cycle for the system because then those governance tokens have more value. It's just a win-win-win. But then they give some of the governance tokens to the guy who borrowed it. So now he may be borrowing and it costs 8%, but he's also being given, say, 2 or 3% in the compound governance token. So now, if you have the 8% and you minus the 3% they're given, you only got to pay 5% on net. Well, 5% is a pretty good rate for a loan. I mean, gosh, go to a bank these days. Depending on what you're asking for, it's probably going to be 9%, 10%, 12%. Credit cards, 20, 30%. So 8% is not bad. 5% is pretty good. And so the borrower gets a good deal and the lender gets a good deal. And compound is benefiting on both sides of this. So now everybody's winning and it's cheaper or earning more, depending on which side of this you're on. It's a really nice system. And that's why a whole bunch of people have taken it and they've built different versions of it. And the really cool thing is compound, they actually let you use their governance token to change the protocol over time. So new and more improvements can be made. They've actually got a bunch of people who recently attacked them and they took out a whole bunch of compound, which is not usually a good idea, but, it's usually a good idea, but it's not usually good for the system. But these people are looking to improve it. And so soon there may be a fee switch flipped. And so now you might actually have your governance tokens you've been getting that are worth a fair bit pay you on top of that. It's a pretty crazy thing. Now, this hasn't happened yet. It's just a proposal that's been kicked around a little bit. Who knows if it'll actually pass. But it's pretty interesting how this whole system can work. Because realistically, there's not a whole lot being brought to the table by compound other than, here, I'm facilitating this. But because of clever tokenomics, they're able to build something of significant value that even I have to top my hat to. Well, if I had a hat on. Anyway, Can't have anything obstructing this beautiful hair of mine after all. Now, how can you actually benefit from Compound? You want to get involved? Sure. What can you do? Well, you can actually go over to Compound, and there's a whole bunch of different assets they accept. Basically, a bunch of top stable coins, Ethereum, Wrapped Bitcoin, whole bunch of stuff. You can go over there. You can use it as collateral to borrow different things. You can deposit different things like Ethereum and stable coins. So you can go on either side of this and interact in a decentralized manner. You don't have to ask anybody for permission. You don't need anybody to hold your hand and tell you, oh, well, we'll tell you you have to do this or that. No, you have the freedom to choose, borrow, lend how you like, and you can go earn some pretty good returns, okay? I mean, nothing crazy, but it's a good place to park your cash if you got nothing better to do. Now, is it as good and crazy as the Overlord Club? Of course it's not, but that's because we take things a step further. See, we are able to use protocols like Compound. When you deposit stuff with them, like say a stable coin, you get back what's called a C token, okay? It's just a compound index token. It basically is how they keep track of your interest. But you can take this token and you can use it in a whole bunch of other clever ways. You can use this to stack on top other things, all right? And so now maybe you're getting 8% from Compound. Well, that's pretty good, all right? It's not bad. It's pretty good. But if you take that and you have a way to get liquidity, and maybe it costs you even 1% for that, so you're only getting 7%, but now you've got more usable dollars. Bam, you can go redeploy that in other places, get another 8%. Well, now we're cooking, baby. Now you're at 15%. You've barely even started levering up. You haven't done anything crazy yet. That's just 2 Legos in. Let's stack this Lego baby up. Money Legos are one of the most powerful things ever, and Compound lets you compound your money Legos really well, really effectively. Now, if you want to see even more about this, go join the Overlord Club. Get a premium subscription. You'll be able to see all kinds of stuff where we can show you how to stack your money Legos up like a champ. And honestly, if you're too lazy to do that, we got an easy way. We'll do it for you. We will take a cut, full disclosure, all right? You're going to get 20%. We get like 29, 31, somewhere in that range. Look, price of being lazy. But 20% is amazing, guys. You should come check it out and enjoy Compound. It's really a great protocol. I've liked it for a long time. We should do more videos on great protocols that have been around for a while. Because honestly, they deserve the respect. My hat is off to you, if I haven't.